Hey tankers, it's Stalker13R, and this is another episode of Team Able, Team Anything But Last. Today we're going to look at another single flank strategy. Now I've done this video before at some other tiers. I think I did tier 5 and tier 8. Today we're going to take a look at that at tier 10. On the channel we like to look at what do you do when your team is doing something unconventional. You know, is everyone camping? Is everyone, only going to one flank? Is, what are they doing that isn't, a more even distribution across the three flanks of the map in a traditional deployment? So today I'm also going to run through that process of what do I do at different stages of the game. I don't just decide, okay, I'm tier 10, so I'm top tier, and I'm in a heavy tank, so I'm just going to go to this flank, and I'm going to push regardless of what my team is doing, and then once I get done pushing, I'm just going to keep driving forward because that's what I do. So what are those stages? Well, the first thing you need to do is, we always say the situation dictates. So we have to get a handle on what that situation is. And that involves what's the friendly situation? What kind of tanks do we have and what are they likely to do? Where are their strengths going to be highlighted the most? What's the enemy situation? What kind of tanks do they have? And where are they the most likely to be successful in what they're doing? So you can see we've got the traditional heavy tank, and we've got some good support vehicles here, so this 1, 2, 3 column is going to be a really good place for our team to have success. And they've got Batchat, E50, and they've got, some of the traditional heavies at tier 9, so, we're going to be able to apply our power over here, and we should have the most likelihood of success. And on that other section of the map that's over there on the 890 line, in the low hills right over there on the other side of town, the enemy team is likely to be successful, so we're not going to go there. They'll come over here to us eventually, and we'll go ahead and apply our advantage while we're over here. And we just won't worry about them. But we maintain the base back here by the lighthouse with our support element, and we'll go ahead and start extending up. So we've already got one vehicle that's in the gap, and we've got a couple of others that are moving up. So I took that initial position, not that I planned to snipe from there, but I wanted to see if the enemy team was going to push up in the center. So one of the possibilities that they can do with those high mobility autoloaders. It's not as common at tier 10, it's more of a tier 5 or tier 7 strategy that you'll see. But I wanted to go ahead and just make sure that if they made that push, we wouldn't get flanked early in the game. So now I'm going to incrementally move up this ridge line, and since we've got vehicles that are in the gap, I want to support them, because just like we have a support element behind us, the enemy team does too. And I want to keep their support element distracted and disrupted so that they won't get tracking shots or get flank shots while our vehicles are scraping the corner down there in this saddle. So we've got an E50 and a Patriot back there. Now I know the front armor on that Patriot turret is pretty good, and it's a one cab player, and they're good players, so shout out to you guys from the one cab clan. And instead of loading up APCR, I'm just going to call for fire and see if the artillery will get in there. And, we'll deal with them later if they don't. So I'm going to just keep shooting here. And now, our guys down in the saddle, they're outnumbered. But we're just getting going here. And, so now their support element, that Patriot and that E50, they're not being real aggressive. I've bounced a couple of shots off the front, and I think I got one in on the E50, I don't remember. But now, that job was done, I've got to push up here and make sure, because the enemy team has the numbers, so eventually they're going to try to envelop. So I have to be up here on the corner where I can shoot over the shoulder of these guys. And you can see one enemy vehicle YOLO'd in, and we've got another one coming around the left side. So all the guys in the saddle are going to be turning their barrels to the left, and we're going to need to cover their right. So we've moved up into a position where we can get around this corner and do just that. Now there's a vehicle that had gone in and gone YOLO, and we're going to make them pay the price for doing that. And me and my partner vehicles here are going to be able to, I'm getting spotting damage. I'm going ahead and getting some shots of my own in here. And I'm still keeping an eye on this E50 and this Patriot that are up on that ridgeline trying to be annoying. And there they're taking some hits. And we've got the E50 out of the game. So it's just the Patriot that's up there. And just in, bouncing a couple of rounds off the turret front, I think that's really taken down that player's aggression level. So I bounced around off the VK there. Again, I'm not going to switch to the APCR for this game. I'm just going to go ahead and take the time to fully aim in and get a shot at a weak spot. And use my actual skill instead of my skill rounds. And now as these vehicles come in trying to make their YOLO runs, we'll make them pay the price. Somebody else hit him, I hit him, and now this partner tank's sticking out there, and the team DPM's really coming up. So we're still one tank behind right now in the overall game, but it's still pretty tight, and we're in a superior map position, and they're going to start feeding us their enemy team more one at a time. So we'll switch up the mode here, and where you can see that I'm calling to artillery for fire there. And we had an artillery and a heavy tank partner that I was in like 3 games with this morning, and the heavy tank sat 30 feet in front of that artillery vehicle all 3 games for the entire game. At Tier 10 this just isn't something that really happens a lot, so I don't know if you're teaching a friend how to play or something. Is Tier 10 really the place to do that? I don't know. Who knows what was going on. We will finish off this RU here, and we'll just focus on doing our job. And, so, it's now, we're 1 up, whereas just a minute ago we were 1 down. And, I'm going to make the assessment that, if that IS-7 got across here, if somebody else was coming in, I'd want to be in a position to support that IS-7. So even though I didn't push with them, if you're together, you can both get circled. But if you've got a little distance, if someone tries to circle one, the other one's going to have a shot at that 3 or 9 o'clock position in the circle, or the left side or right side where they're coming straight at you or straight away. So to support that vehicle, sometimes you need a little distance. And now I'm going to work the oblique here so that we don't have to just try to face hug this guy. And, it's Tier 8, again, 1 cab guys, they're solid players. This guy or gal is, done the best they can. They played that supporting role. I'm going to go ahead and set them on fire and brew them up. And I've got all my health pool left now. And again, when I drive at a target like this, I'm always driving at an angle. I never drive straight at the target. And then I'll switch that angle up so that they have to change vectors when they're trying to track me as a target. And I'm pretty sure that this vehicle's on the reload right now, otherwise it would have shot again. So we're just going to serpentine on up there, put that vehicle out. So again, the different phases here were to see what the friendly and enemy situations were, to see what the map is, what is that terrain going to dictate based on those situations. Now we're looking for the last target, and we're going to maintain our screen. And I'm going to call out that, hey, I don't know where this person was, maybe somebody had seen him, and there it is. They had gone ahead and pushed up, and checked the corner, and they're coming to the party late. I send them an I'm on my way just so that they'll know that, if they need to group up, if they're low on health, we can come together as a group and deal with this target. But that vehicle probably saw, hey, this guy's on the reload. If we get in there before they get away, we won't have to play whack-a-mole with them later on, and went ahead and gone in, and that was the right decision. So we put this game out for a win. Everybody says, oh, the lemming train's always going to lose. Well, if you turn it into a single flank strategy and maintain a base that can support fire back across your base or to the center of the map, and protect you from being surrounded in a pocket, where the vehicles in the middle can't get their guns because they're trying to fire out past friendly vehicles. If you maintain that line on the single flank, it can be a winner. So we'll just let the stats run through here. You know, there's nothing super impressive about this game for individual gameplay, but it was a good team play overall. So again, you look at that situation, friendly enemy, how is that going to apply to the terrain? You know, then we move up to see, okay, are they going to is the enemy team going to pull an aggressive move and try to come through the center of town? Okay, now we're going to move up and we're going to work the top of this ridge line, and we're going to focus on the enemy team support element so that they can't harass our guys that are down there scraping the corners in the saddle. And then we're going to move up to the corner of the saddle so that our guys can focus their fire on one end of that corridor or the other, and we can cover the other end for them. And then we just keep moving up across the battlefield. You know, instead of using APCR on the VK that I bounced, or on the turret front of the Patriot, which I'm not sure I'd have the pen to do anyway, we just kept it on standard rounds and called for artillery fire, or, you know, just bounced a couple of rounds off the turret of that Patriot just to reduce their overall aggression level. You know, and that, if you can do that, you know, then you've got them mostly out of the game for the minute anyway. So here's another look at our T110-E5. You know, it's often called the once great T110-E5, and, you know, it's an okay vehicle. I actually prefer the Tier 9 M103, even though on paper it shouldn't perform as well. I'm, you know, well over 50% wins in the M103, and I'm struggling to keep 50% in the T110-E5 here. So, I don't know if that's how the T110-E5 is weighted in the matchmaking, and they're just expecting me to be able to do a lot more with it than I can. And, you know, I want to say I'm only, you know, 50 or 100 games in on the 110-E5, so I should be used to it now, and I think I'm getting there. But I still have a lot better luck in this M103 at Tier 9 than I do this T110-E5. So I hope that that'll paint some picture of how you go through the different stages of the battle there. At the end, you know, I called I'm on my way so that we could all form up and go in together. And thanks for watching.